should be.
Yeah, exactly.
I think portrait mode is the biggest scourge brought upon society by TikTok et al.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're right, man. You have a good point. All right. Look, I'm glowing. Ooh. Nice. Okay. Ben Lawrence.
Paul Goody,
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, my understanding is that we're going to be losing you 45 minutes into this hour-long podcast.
Yes, yes. Which means the stream is going to go away. But for those of you out there who listen to the show, I don't know why you would listen to it twice. It's still going to be an hour because Paul is just going to fill that 15 minutes with whatever.
It's going to be awesome. And by whatever, of course, it won't be
Tuvan throat
exciting.
singing.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can keep it up for 15 minutes, but you heard it here first. Tuvan throat singing after the.
That's
after
how
the
we
podcast.
make the next track unlistenable.
Actually, if for those of you who don't know, the unlistenable song exists. It is. Is it on our stream or is it not?
Not yet. I haven't done anything with it.
So, but there is, I believe, some Tuvan throat singing. And of course, my apologies to the good people of Tuva. It is not Tuvan throat singing. It is a knockoff, if you will.
Guttural growling.
Yes, and not the best version of it. I'll do the good one after this, and we'll see how it goes. So as my wife will be very excited about, apparently closing arguments in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial tomorrow.
Yeah, because we've talked about it.
Of not talking about it.
Because we've talked about it so much, I definitely am not going to watch the movie when it comes out.
Oh God, who would you get to play the people?
That's the other Andy Samberg to play Johnny Depp, and
oh, that's nice, yeah.
Drew Barrymore to play Amber Heard.
Somehow, I mean, Drew Barrymore is much older than Amber Heard, but somehow that would work, I think.
She can do anything.
She can. Speaking
but
of Tom Green,
it's Drew Barrymore in her Santa Clarita Diet character, so she's technically undead, but she has to play Amber Heard as that character.
I haven't seen that. Spoilers, Ben.
Ooh, this happens in like the first episode. It's the point of the show. I'm not spoiling anything.
Gotcha. Speaking about spoilers, Ben, Better Call Saul. Are you caught up?
Yes.
Spoilers for Better Call Saul. Starting now. Howard! Oh my God!
Well, you know, that's the thing. When they introduced characters into the show that weren't in Breaking Bad, you were like, okay, so either they're going to die or something else is going to happen to them.
I really hope that Kim is still alive, but she never wanted to see Jimmy again.
Yeah.
And that this is what brings them together.
She's got to get out because she's afraid for goes to DC, takes a job, something. But yeah, no, that moment was a real, like, I'm sitting at home watching it going,
yeah. And just the way they're like, no, you got to leave.
Yep.
And all that.
Poor Howard.
And also you gotta cement Lalo as being a bad guy because he's so likable.
He's a very charming person. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch Hawkeye? The Disney
I did.
Channel Hawkeye film?
Yeah.
Did you recognize him? Because I didn't until I started watching Better Call Saul again.
Who did he play in Hawkeye?
He was the guy that I said, why didn't they just hire Paul F. Tompkins? He was the husband, or the guy who was dating the mom, I should say, not the husband.
Yeah, I don't remember him. I'll have to go back. But Tony Dalton is very good.
Yeah, he is. And once you see it, you're like, of course that's Tony Dalton.
Yeah.
Yeah, did a really nice job. Oh, let's just spoilers again for Better Call Saul. Nacho.
Oh
How he
yeah.
went out was great.
Yeah. No, they do a real good job in this show. The writers on this show do a very good job in following through on the characters' motivations. What Nacho did was it was surprising, but it was not necessarily out of character for him.
Right.
He set up he set up in front of not Don Eladio. Who's the
Oh God, I should know this.
Anyway, he cleared Giancarlo Esposito's character's name and then offed himself. So yeah, very yeah. All I can say is it's a very good show. I've been enjoying it, and I will be sad to see it end fully. I think the mid-season break is a kind of BS. I hate it when shows do this. So there's season 6 part 1 and season 6 part 2.
Is there one more, or is it the end until the next one?
No, this is the end. So I think I don't know when the second half of the season starts, but it can't come soon enough, is what I'm saying.
I was really interested in The Equalizer when I was a kid. That was one show that I watched, and so I checked out the Denzel Washington version of The Equalizer.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. I didn't mind it. Felt a lot like Man on Fire. If you saw that.
I did not.
Which you may not have seen. It was good.
There was a trailer that dropped today for a show I had no idea was coming. Andor, the latest in the Star Wars universe.
Oh, yeah. I saw that trailer. Thought it was pretty good.
Speaking of Tuvan throat singing.
Yeah.
There seemed to be a little bit of that.
And also, Star Wars Eclipse, the game by Quantic Dream, is going to be coming out. Now, Quantic Dream, of course, under fire because the guy who runs it is a creep.
Is he?
Yes. Shared the nude model of Elliot Page back when he was performing under a different name.
Right.
Because they scan you in 3D for the show. And yeah, so that wasn't good.
No.
People were upset about that, and treats people badly. Also, from what I understand. However,
terrible work culture.
The trailer for the game looks really good. So, as always, we run into that problem.
I have not seen the trailer for the game.
Oh, well, it looks good. Speaking of games, though, a game that is not good is Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song with taxes like $75, which I paid because Jennifer wanted to play the game, and it is garbage.
Oh no, for $75?
Yeah, we tried to return it. That's how bad it was. Also, you can't return games once you buy them and download them to the PlayStation Store.
Right.
Is it enough to make me turn against PlayStation? No. But do I like them? Absolutely not. Right now, I am very mad at them.
Or maybe turn them against the game studio that released it.
Well, that's the thing, is Jennifer wrote directly to the game studio and told them that they were bad for charging that much for that game.
Right.
And that's all that you can do, really. I gave it a 1-star review on IMDb. If I were on social media, I would also talk badly about it, but I am still not on social media.
Wow. So this
Even my ire at Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song will not bring me back just so I can complain on social media. Yeah.
Wow. So your motives are pure, sir.
Yes. I gotta say, Ben, one of the things that made me delete all my social media accounts was learning about how much data, that companies get from you, and through your end user license agreement, and all that, how much it can be used for different fun operations.
Fun operations.
Finding out where you live, finding out what all the people around you are thinking,
Right.
tracking your mobile device and seeing where you go. Now, do they know it's your device? All that kind of stuff. There's certain things that you need a subpoena for when you're a law enforcement entity. But what if you're a criminal then? Well, then you don't
Right.
need that information. So it's interesting stuff. Yeah. I feel as though you're kind of crazy if you are doing that stuff for free. Like if and granted, I was an early adopter. I was very into it and all that, but the amount of stuff you're just giving away, entertainment value for other people. They go to see what you're talking about. Video, especially with something like TikTok, your video content. People are on it all the time. They're making money.
Yeah.
And you can, of course, join the creator fund and all that, but the amount that you make versus how much they're making, crazy. Now, there is one good point that someone will make, which is like, well, you as a lone individual would not be able to get the reach that you can by joining a social media organization, to which I will agree. I will say, yes, that's true. But there are other things you can do besides become a social media personality in the world, and a lot of it is more beneficial.
Right. And, I know lots of people dedicated their lives to it, but I just don't have the energy to try to become a social media personality. It's too much work.
Yeah, it really is. And I think it says something about quitting when I had enough followers that I could make money off my channel if I had dedicated myself to it and put stuff in and all that.
Right.
But I definitely didn't want to. It was not a job that I wanted.
Right.
And so then when I started thinking about, well, then why am I doing it for free? I'm like, yeah, that's right.
I barely have enough time and energy for the things that I've started, for the things that I've created.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine just like devoting 100% of my time to that.
Yeah, I ended up quitting the Tales from the Loop game that I'm in because I had to pick one, and so I picked the one that was a telegame. I actually had to pick two, but Annex Games was already ending, so that was an easy choice. But yeah.
And it did end, and I think it ended successfully.
I thought it ended successfully too. Let's talk about that. I love all the people. They were great. I thought they did a good job. We got to give every little character an ending, except for, of course, I gave People Persons and Eric the Semi-Orc an ending, but it wasn't the same as the players getting to do it.
I have a question for you though. Were you looking at the clock and determining when the fatal blow was going to happen to the banana slug?
Absolutely not. No.
No.
No. It was just working. Running the hit points down on it.
Yep.
That the people did. Yeah. I had a contingency plan. If it didn't die before the end of the session, we were gonna cut back to if everybody else died or whatever, we're gonna cut back to People Persons and say, so I have to let you know that our town is doomed, and goodbye, and then he would take off, and then you would see the banana slug rising up out of the junkyard. But that didn't happen.
That did not happen. Fortunately, goodness prevailed.
Yes, who was it that made the killing blow? Do you remember? Because I don't.
I
Was
don't
it
remember.
Thomas?
I have no idea.
I think it might have been Thomas.
We can go back and look.
Yeah. Don't. Of course, they're not going to listen to this. I should know, but I don't. I don't remember.
Somebody
But
made the final blow.
It was nice. It was good, and I had a fun time.
Excellent. And we're never
Which
going
is
to
good
do it
because-
again.
Well, other people are going to do it. This is
Right.
why I understand. But me personally, yeah, I don't know. I like gaming in person. I don't like gaming over stream as much. Which
Yeah,
is too
I get
bad
it.
because there are a lot of cool people that like to game over stream, and I've met them, and they have fun when I play with them and all that, which is cool. But I don't know. There's just something about it. I think it's that because I'm not there, I get distracted.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think maybe running a stream, like GMing a stream, if I wasn't being watched by other people, might be okay. But I don't know. Chances.
If weren't like by an audience, you were just in the game.
By an audience, yeah. If I was just in a game with like 4 people and I was running it, that might
Right.
be okay. But yeah. So.
But it happened. It was a successful thing, and successful in terms of it happened. Four-hour episodes happened. The game concluded, and I think everybody involved had a good time.
Yeah, and I think it ended well. That is what I will say. And you did a wonderful job, Ben. I know that's. Oh wow. when my face does this, when my hand does this, I can see the light show up on your face.
Oh yeah, because you're on a big screen right here.
So yeah, I thought your obviously your assistance was necessary to make all that stuff work.
I made it all happen.
You did. That's the thing.
Sitting in this very seat.
Lord. That very seat. So we should mark that we are doing our podcast. Is it the day after or 2 days,
2 days
after?
2 days after.
2 days after a horrific school shooting. And the news story that I saw today is that the Supreme Court is thinking about relaxing gun laws.
I did not see that, but that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. I don't think it was necessarily timed in this way. I think that this happened.
Right. This wasn't a response.
Exactly. But yeah, it's
Somebody killed a bunch of kids. Let's make it easier to get guns.
Now, of course, I don't remember who it was, but someone made the note that when nothing happened because of Sandy Hook, that was it. The war was over because there was nothing that was going to be more shocking that would bring people in. And Jennifer was talking about this, that in Australia, the same sort of thing happened, but they went the other way.
Yeah.
That they did institute gun control, and it worked for them.
Yeah. I guess buyback programs are really popular when they happen on, say, a municipal level or the county level. I heard a story of, I can't remember which, I don't even remember if it was just a city. I think it might have just been a city. They had a buyback program where you get a $50 gift card for like every gun, or maybe just, you get a $50 gift card when you return guns, regardless of how many you return. And it was, this thing was planned to go all day. They had to end in like 45 minutes because they were all out of these gift cards. When buyback programs happen, they are popular. But because we live in, this, guns over children society, the federal government's not going to do anything like that on a federal level. Because in Australia, when the Port Arthur massacre happened, the Australian government was like, "All right, no more guns," and the people were like, "Yeah, seems about right."
And could you tell me a little bit about when that happened?
Oh God, Port
was
Arthur.
Was it in the 70s?
No, I think it was in the 90s.
Okay.
I think it was like the mid to late 90s.
Okay. I mean, I was here in the U.S. during that time, so I like to stay awash in a blanket. Awash in a blanket. That doesn't sound right. That sounds like some sort of torture type thing. But I remain in my ignorance because that was in the 90s.
1996.
Foreign news.
Yeah. Well, we weren't also as plugged into international news in the, 96, like the internet was still in its infancy. Like I was sending email via Pine on my university's network at that time.
Exactly. I was still using Telnet even at that time, I think.
Yeah. Netscape, I don't even think was a thing yet.
Opera. No. Mosaic. Maybe. But yeah, so that was one of the things. Now here's an interesting little tidbit. Jennifer was born in Australia. Apparently, if she wanted to, she could be an Australian citizen because she was born before 1986 in Australia.
There's a cutoff for when you can claim dual citizenship or something?
Well, no, there's a cutoff for when being born in Australia automatically makes you an Australian citizen. After 1986, there's some more hoops to jump through. So the idea of living in Australia, is something that we talk about every once in a while. It's sort of like a pie in the sky kind of dream thing. Yeah, we could move to Australia. But the thing is, moving to Australia is close to going out west when you were, in the 1800s or whatever, where you knew that this was going to be a big journey. You weren't sure of your prospects when you got there, and you know that you won't see your family and friends in person.
Might not even make it.
Yeah. Well, nowadays
you have died of dysentery.
One would hope that we could make it to Australia.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, the way it would work, of course, is that she would have to go first, and then we could maybe follow. And it's an interesting idea. I mean, I've been intrigued by Australia for a long time, since I was a kid. Obviously. Knee
high to a kangaroo.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so it is. It again though. People sometimes call Australia weird Texas, which I think is funny.
So does that make Texas normal Australia?
Not as much. It's not a 1-to-1, which is interesting. The opposite of dark is light, but they're both on a continuum, right? Like dim is kind of dark and kind of light, so can it actually be an opposite? Would the opposite of dark actually be silence, like because it's the opposite because it's the absence of sound? Not exactly. They're both absences of things. And then you could get into a really weird. So I'm gonna say no.
I wouldn't want to move to Australia. I wouldn't mind living in New Zealand. It's more my climate zone.
I believe that if you move to Australia, if you're an Australian citizen, getting to live in New Zealand is easier. I think.
Yeah, I don't know what the regulations are. I've always heard that's the same sort of thing like with Canada. So you can't live there unless for like some sort of dumb rule like you have to prove that you contribute positively to society in some way.
Well, there at least when I was thinking about moving to Canada, there is a thing that you have to be able to do something that a Canadian citizen can't do, which is difficult. Um, but like it can be something like I work for Microsoft and have this specialized knowledge of this program, or
Yeah.
I know something about the finance thing of whatever. It doesn't have to be like I'm the fastest person. I'm faster than any Canadian. It could be, some other things. But um, I assume that maybe Australia has something like that. The way it works, though, as a spouse of a Canadian citizen, I would be able to apply for a temporary visa, work there on my temporary visa, and then, if accepted, get a full-time visa where I would be able to stay there permanently.
Right.
But um, there's other stuff like my mom was born in Brazil, so maybe that's the thing. But who wants to live in Brazil? I'm kidding, Brazilians who listen to this show. I love you, and Brazil is wonderful, I am sure.
I wouldn't
Um,
move there for a Brazilian dollars. Paul Goody is speechless.
you can't see my face
I,
if you're listening to the podcast only, but I was taken aback by Ben's pun. It was a wonderful pun, Ben, and I love you, and
oh,
I love
why?
it.
Thank
You're
you.
a wonderful person, and your pun, mwah, it's great.
Oh Lord.
So, um, yeah, not again. For those of you who are listening to determine my loyalty to the United States, I am, of course, still loyal to the United States. There's a funny joke that a comedian did one time, um, which was I had a really dumb friend uh, who confided to me that he was a spy for the government. And I'm like, how can you be a spy for the government? He says, see, uh, people get hung up on which government. And I thought that was funny.
Yep.
And I've used that joke several times in my life. Um, but the basic thing is that, obviously this is what's going on. Jennifer, my wife, is you know
Having
interested
to.
in maybe moving
Yeah.
to there every once in a while, thinking about it because it's an adventure. She is an adventurous person. And if
Yeah.
she were to do that, I would also want to go along.
Of course.
That is the basic thing. So, and then however that works out. But if she would want to stay here, I would also want to stay here. Am I wishy-washy? No.
There does
Do
seem
I
to be
like
some. There does seem to be some fluidity in terms of your living situation. I know Jennifer wants to move, and you were waiting for some job things to get ironed out. What's the
Yeah.
current status on your living
So
situation?
here's what I would say is that my current living situation is that I can remain here for at least I can live here in Illinois where I'm living right now for at least another year before things get, or for around another year, a little bit less than a year before things get complicated.
Okay.
So, my suggestion to her is, if that's something you want to do, we should get on it now, so that we don't have to move twice.
Right.
If we were going to move to another country, that would be something to think about sooner rather than later. But she, of course, is much more practical than I am, and is like, well, think about this, this, and this, all these reasons not to do it, which is, yeah, true. Something to be worried about. But again, we'll see how it all pans out. I would miss, not seeing people, but I think about this. I have not seen you since you came to visit here.
Right.
To me, okay, this is how time works for me. So don't laugh too much. That was like last year, right?
Yeah, just last year. Maybe a year and a
Okay.
half.
All right, good. Because I wasn't sure. Because I feel like I've lived here for about 3 years,
Yeah.
and
When
that
in
has
reality, you've lived there about
been
8 years, and it was, I think,
yeah.
5 years ago when we were there.
Oh wait, are you serious? That was 5 years ago when you were there?
I
I
think it
thought
was
you were
20.
being.
No, I think it was
I thought you were
2017.
being. I thought you were being serious when you said that it was like a year ago. Like
No, I was
I didn't know
playing
that you were
along.
making a joke. I
Yeah.
thought, okay,
It's been 5 years.
wow, okay, that's crazy. So yeah, Southern Illinois is very much kind of a. It feels like a holding pattern still. Like I didn't really move here, when in fact, of course, I have, and have been living here for quite some time.
Quite some time. Yeah. Almost 8 years. October 2014, I think, is our last spin the bottle.
Yeah, there's still just a part of my brain though that thinks about, you know, I mean, don't let this get around because it makes me sound a little bit crazy, maybe. Where I think about just running up to Quick Trip, a Quick Trip which may not even be there anymore. Who knows? And not Quick Trip. Quick Trip is a gas station. QFC is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I could get that at QFC. No, I can't. QFC isn't there. I am nowhere near a QFC.
Yeah. No, I mean,
The fact that you can get Taco Time, you could go out and get Taco Time right now if you wanted to, is a bone of contention here in Illinois.
yes,
where
because
there is
Taco Time is a local franchise, I believe.
at least somewhat.
Yeah.
local
Taco Bell is national, but Taco Time might be more regional.
Yeah, that seems right.
I can't remember
Which
the
is
last time
why
I was at a
my-
Taco Time.
Really, I can.
Yeah. It's been a while.
I like their tube of, I guess it's their burritos. Is that the tube of bean and cheese?
A burrito is a tube.
But in their thing, their long tube of bean and cheese. I think they call them burritos, but I'm not positive.
Were
Yeah,
you
it is.
around? Were you around many years ago on Annex's email listserv when there was the great discussion between tater tots and Mexi fries and which were better?
Oh, I believe I was, yeah. And were Mexi fries? Mexi fries were from Taco Time, right?
Mexi fries are Taco Time's versions of tater tots.
I believe I was on team Mexi fries, and if I wasn't, I would be now.
Yeah.
Those
I
things are good.
I tried looking for that thread a while back just to reread it, because and I think I may have deleted it because there was a time when, and I was using Yahoo Mail at the time. There was a time when Yahoo Mail had a maximum limit on how much email you can have. So at points you'd have to go through and delete stuff, and I probably deleted it.
I do think that it is possible that Google will at some point in time say, hey, you're going to have to start deleting mail, or just give us $5 a month for Google Mail.
Yeah.
And everyone will pony up.
Well, I already do that because it's not for mail, but it's for Google Drive storage.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying for even the mail, it's going to
Yeah. That was their big selling point. You probably remember when Gmail came out, that was like why everybody signed up, because you had unlimited storage on your email.
Yep. And man,
That's what made it cool.
I feel as though I would probably be, just because I know how I work, with like with all the other stuff, with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok now and all that, that if they did that, I might just delete all my email, all my Gmails.
Yeah.
And people be like,
And
are you
start
crazy?
fresh.
What do you mean? All that stuff. And it'd be like, yeah, who cares? No one cares.
I go through phases of wanting to collect things for sentimental value and thinking it's the most important thing that I could do at that moment. And then like get into a project and then get halfway through and then just like put it away for years. And convince myself, obviously, this isn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Can you give me an example?
Or it's not important. CDs. When I would collect CDs, I would also, like, if I bought an album off of iTunes, I would burn it onto a CD, and then I would buy a plastic case for it and print out with my printer the cover art and back. And I that was a art project that I gave myself.
You've mentioned this on the stream before.
Yeah.
And as you were saying, I was like, that's right. And I honestly think that I must have witnessed some of those CDs.
You have. I made a cover for yours CD that you gave me. You gave me a CD of yours, like, you know, back when in the ATF days, and I didn't, you know, and I put it in a plastic case, and I printed out some pictures that I had of you, and I made cover art. No, it was in black and white.
Do you still have it? You
know what? I got rid of all of my CDRs, but I wouldn't be surprised if I saved that one, just because, you know, it's you.
I would be interested to see if you had it, because I can guarantee you that whatever is on that CD, I no longer own. So it'll be a lost. It
is. All of those songs are in my iTunes. So
what's it called? Do you remember? Or just name a song off of it?
Bing and a Bang is on it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I have a video for Bing and a Bang that's on YouTube. In fact, I think.
140 Flea.
150 Flea. Yep.
150 Flea. Right. The 141 was from the previous album.
Yeah. That's right. And yeah, I do like the idea. The thing I like about 150 Flea, obviously, they all live inside of me. So we're talking plural. Are they 150 fleas, or is it something different? Is it 150 flea in general? I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I haven't thought about that song in a really long time.
How to Tell Time Travel from Mr. T.
And How to Tell Time Travel by Mr. T.
By Mr. T.
Right.
Yes, of course.
They're both there. They're both there.
Yep. So that's the album of yours that I have.
Oh man, I remember all that stuff, but yeah, I don't know if I have any of it.
Did you lose all that in the great computer hard drive wipe of 2003 or whenever that happened?
I may have. Yeah. Oh man, that's another thing is I wonder what my life would be like if I still had all that stuff. Because yeah, there was stuff that got lost there that I never put in any medium. I've just forgotten about it.
Yeah. I understand that. I mean, when you go through like a big purge, accidental purge like that, you're deflated so much that you just like there's no energy to recreate any of it. Cole was telling me about how he had a fire in his apartment building when he was like in graduate school.
Cole Hornaday, for those of you.
Cole Hornaday. And so he was living with his girlfriend at the time, and there was a fire in their apartment building, and all of his comic books were in there, and he thought he was just going to lose them all. And he says that if he had lost all of his collection, that would have been it. He would not have restarted it. He would not have tried to recreate it. He's like, I'm done with comic books.
Yep.
Fortunately, though, they were saved. The boxes got water damage, but all the comics were in bags and boards, so they were protected from the water damage. So yeah. Let that be a lesson to you. Keep all your valuable comics in bags and boards.
Exactly. Bags and boards are the way to go. My Nightcrawler limited series is bags and boards. 4 issues, Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is my favorite Marvel superhero, Ben.
Is he?
If anybody asks, that's my favorite Marvel superhero.
I don't know if I knew that before. I know that Alan Cumming played Nightcrawler in one of the X-Men
He
movies.
did. Yep. Nightcrawler's name, Kurt Wagner.
Spelled Wagner.
Yep. He's fuzzy and blue and has blue curly hair. One of the reasons I liked him is because he had curly hair like me. Representation, Ben.
for white curly haired dudes.
Blue curly haired dudes, but still, it's
Yeah.
he was from Germany, so
Yeah. There's a new Marvel TV show coming out, Ms. Marvel, of course, based on the comic written by created by G. Willow Wilson, about a young Muslim teenage girl who becomes a superhero.
here's an interesting thing. Steve Wacker, who was an editor on that comic, sometimes listed as a co-creator of that character, was in American Scream, a sketch comedy / improv group with me.
Oh, really?
He played the lead character in a sketch that I wrote called Dick Man, who famously the thing is, he walks into a place and says, "Hey, where's the extra chair for my dick?"
And yet he still has a job today, and nobody's dug that up.
Yeah, which was something that a friend of mine said one time, and it stuck with me until I went to college and I wrote an entire sketch on it.
Yeah. Not gonna try to recreate that moment anywhere, anytime soon.
Yeah, no, and who would? Who would, I ask you? Not me.
No.
That's
Not
for
me.
Sure. Uh-oh. We're getting close to that time, Ben, when you have to go.
Yeah, got 2 minutes before the end of the stream and the end of my participation on this podcast.
Yep, and wait, what? What?
It's all you from here on out.
Oh, no.
It's just a Goody podcast.
This episode of the podcast.
This episode of the
ladies and
podcast.
gentlemen. We have to let them know that, Ben, because otherwise they're going to be like, well, that's it then.
It just
I'm
wasn't the same.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. Maybe I'll be able to get Betty to come down.
Oh.
Probably not though. Maybe
I thought
should
Betty
give it
has
try.
she's forsworn us.
I believe so, but you never can tell. If I say Ben isn't here, maybe it'll be enough to bring her.
Makes it sound like I'm a bad person.
Yeah, I promise Ben won't be there. God, wouldn't that suck? There are people. That are like
man.
That.
Yeah, I know.
People whose mere presence will ensure that other people do not go somewhere. Was I ever that person? It's possible. It really is possible.
I was just having this conversation the other day because Cole Hornaday and I were talking about people who, I'm going to bleep myself out, people who are on our shit lists and who we don't want to work with. And he's got some people that he doesn't want to work with. I have like maybe one or two I'd rather not work with, but I was musing about whether I am on somebody's list.
I don't think you are, Ben. I can't think of who would ever think to put you on that list. I just can't.
There's got to be someone. Maybe I inadvertently said something at a party that went the wrong way.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, if we hadn't have altered the wording to Tacoma, all the people in Tacoma would refuse to work with you.
Yep, every single one.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's 5 o'clock. It's and with that. Now that I'm gonna be gone, Betty can come down.
Yeah, I will. I'll talk to you later. Hey, Ben.